Scott, it's really great to have you here tonight.
Good to see you again,
I
David.
haven't seen you for since the last clinic back in either the end of February or very early March.
I think it was February, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. As I reviewed with you, what we're doing is putting together a little video of our very large volunteer group. I wonder if you could talk a little bit. How did you find out about NEJFON?
Sure.
What drew you to this work?
Right. So I was, I'm with a group called Solidarity Lowell, and we had a presentation about NEJFON, and I got very interested in it. I had just finished doing some work for Yes on 3, which was about transgender protections. And I feel as a white, cisgender, heterosexual male that I afforded a lot of privileges in this society. And as, you know, as like they say in Spider-Man, with great privilege, with great power comes great responsibility. And I feel that it's important to use my voice, which people actually listen to in our society, to help amplify people who are perhaps not listened to.
Well, I'm really glad to have Miriam here, and Miriam has been an active volunteer with NEJFON over the past year, and you know, we all miss coming together in our on-site NEJFON experience at the clinics, but we're really happy to still connect with volunteers and to be thinking about what the future is. Maybe describe what, just in preparing, what does hospitality mean? What did you have to do?
So what we do is we actually provide a meal for the clients and for the people who are volunteering and working that night. There are people who are happy to cook but don't have time to come in. And there are people who are happy to come in, and some of them might not even cook. So there's a little bit of organization. We need, making sure that there is a well-rounded meal available, and make sure somebody brings cider. I will pick up. Somebody makes chili, and I'll pick up chili. Make sure there's something vegetarian available. Just making sure that there's something for that. Pretty much anybody will be able to find something, in the before time, as a buffet.
Mm-hmm.
And making sure there was dessert and the whole thing, and that it was warm and welcoming.
I always found in the clinics that I attended that oftentimes when a client would come in, they initially were reluctant to go over and have something to eat. Did you find that to be true, or how did you get people to actually, have something to eat?
I think, again, once you get one person involved, it becomes easier. But I want to say that sometimes, it might be one of the lawyers that gets started, or a translator, or somebody who is involved in the, who is either working for or volunteering for NEJFON and is able to invite people in. But but I think part of the hospitality is like, we're so happy to see you. Please, have something to eat. And the other thing is if your clients happen to be teenage boys, it becomes really easy.
I have Maria with us tonight, and she's graciously agreed to talk a little bit about her experience with JFON. You know, as you think back, Maria, has anything changed or has anything really what's been the greatest impact of this work on you personally as a volunteer?
Yeah, so I had thought about this answer really hard, but now that you're asking me, so many things are coming to mind. First of all, I'm from Mexico, and so many of the families and the young men and women that I have had the pleasure to interview have either come from Mexico or have passed through Mexico on their journey to seek either asylum or to support from immigration, from this immigration organization. So being from Mexico, sort of like, I think it's part of my calling to make sure that we all have the opportunity to be treated equally, fairly. And if help is not available, at least we have the right to be explained why, and be treated humanely. And that's probably with the many stories that we have heard over the past 4 years, especially, that has kept me like being on this mission, because we're all humans, no matter where we come from. We're all human beings, no matter where we come from, how we look like, if we speak with an accent or if we speak differently. So that's been a big motivator. And one thing that was extremely challenging for me at first, when I first started either interpreting or doing interviews, was that as I was taking birth dates, those very young women and men were my kids' ages. And that was extremely painful and difficult for me to know that 3 children in my family have had so many opportunities. They were just born on the right side of the line, and I was talking to so many other youngsters who were just in a situation in which I felt powerless. So I guess that's been sort of like a big thing for me, because we feel so little upon this very huge issue, but at least knowing that I'm planting a little seed or making sure that someone has a better start. So sometimes I wonder if I'm honestly doing it for me more than for them. And it's just a very tiny way in which I can contribute to a bigger issue.
Right.
So that's been very impactful.
I can see this is very emotional, and I know for all of us, it's been a lot of joy, but it's also been, you know, sometimes you go home and it's just, wow, you feel so fortunate and so lucky.
Yeah.
Maria, thank you for sharing.